Lakers' Luka Dončić went down with a knee injury today playing for Slovenia in an exhibition game. Let's break this down. First thing to pay attention to is that right leg. Notice Luka is taking a step backwards here. At the point of contact, one reassuring factor is that his foot is not completely planted. Rather, he's fallen backwards with his center of mass not directly above the knee. You see that the foot comes off the ground almost immediately when Luka's teammate runs into him. The most severe injuries are more common when you have a direct blow to the knee on a fully planted leg with the player's center of gravity directly above it. That's typically when you see ligament tears and larger fractures, which is not what we see here. As the teammate falls into Luka, notice the foot goes into an external rotation followed by the player's backside landing directly on the knee or shin area. He was able to bear weight after that and walked off on his own power, and you see him grabbing more at the medial side as opposed to the lateral or outside portion. Anatomically, this is the right knee. You can imagine a force coming from the medial side. This causes the femur and tibia to bend outward, causing a varus load at that knee joint. This typically causes compression medially and a stretch on the lateral structures, especially the LCL and posterior lateral corner. The most severe case of this mechanism is what we saw with Rashee Rice last year, who tore the LCL and part of the hamstring of the posterior lateral corner that required surgery. However, in Rice's case, he was on a completely planted leg and had significant hyperextension of the knee with that external rotation of the foot. Rice also did not bear weight after his injury, and in Luka's case, early reports sounded somewhat reassuring. Luka grabbing at the inside of the leg is also reassuring since the LCL and PLC are located here on the outside. The most common injury with this mechanism would be a contusion or bone bruise. It can also stretch the muscles of the surrounding area, including the hamstrings and calves, as well as the capsule and this oblique popliteal ligament, which is frequently injured. At the front of the knee, the medial compression can cause bruising and microfractures at the site where the player initially crashed into, and also when the player landed on this area at the end of the sequence. You can also damage the cartilage here, and sometimes the lateral meniscus can be involved. As previously mentioned, it would be a lot less common to have torn the LCL or PLC in this mechanism, which is extremely good news. You would want to rule out a fracture of the tibial plateau and surrounding areas as well. It's likely he'll have an MRI tomorrow. In most cases, a contusion is a 1 to 2 week injury. Strains are typically a 1 to 3 week injury. For now, Lakers Nation can exhale, wishing Luka a safe and speedy recovery.